So we're live on YouTube. We're live here. So we are good to go. No internet. Thank you for joining us. Jason, thank you for joining. As I was saying, we are working on raising money for PanCAN, the Pancreatic Cancer Association of North America. We are partnered with Lord of the Unfinished Projects. And what Lord is doing is he is doing a miniature painting competition that ends on all submissions have to be submitted before October 12th. And this is our miniature. Our miniature is actually representing a theme. It's not just a dragon. It has a special meaning behind it, is what I'm trying to say. So the special meaning is, yes, it's a dragon. Yes, it's causing some chaos. And yes, we do have a hero trying to stop the chaos. But it's more than that. The dragon is representing cancer itself, how destructive it can be, how terrifying going through it can be. Not just for the person going through it, but also for the person's family. I come from a family that has lost family members due to cancer. So when Lord of the Unfinished Project mentioned he was going to be doing this campaign, it was a no-brainer for me to join. And then the hero is representing the doctors, the family, pretty much everybody involved with fighting the cancer. And then the victim down here at the bottom that we're going to have fire coming off of. We're going to make him look charred and everything like that. He is in memoriam for all of those, not just that I lost to cancer, but everybody who has ever lost a loved one to cancer. So we do have a theme that's going into this figure. It's not just, oh, dragon attacking, let's have a hero fight it off. Scoob, thank you for joining. Hummer. F. Donna, thank you for joining us. Carnifer, thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. I was not going to forget to mention that. I saw you putting up all those likes. So we're just continuing our work. Last night we got pretty far on him. We're going to try to finish him up. And we're going to try to go as long as we can. Katie, thank you for joining us. Jed, thank you for joining us. But yeah, that's the basics behind what our miniature is about. It's not just, oh, dragon fighting. No, we have an actual theme that we've put into this. We put a lot of thought into why we're doing a dragon, why it's attacking, why we're adding every piece to it. Now, with this miniature painting competition, there's two entryways you can enter. Well, you're going to enter regardless through Lord of the Unfinished Projects link tree. That's where everybody goes into and joins. However, once you do that, you will be shown that there's two competition rewards. One for diorama, which is any figure of 3 or more pieces together. So for instance, we have our Elf Ranger. We have our Plagued Elf right down here that came with the Nosler Green Dragon Wormling. And then we have our Young Adult Red Dragon right here. And that's what we're entering for the diorama. The diorama, if you win, you get a 50-piece Army Painter Fanatics set. The single miniature entry, you get a Sisters of Battle set from Warhammer. Val M. Jeffrey, thank you for joining us. Now, if you all have never seen my lives before, you'll see me looking over to my right or my left, whichever side you're on. That's because we also go live on YouTube at the same time. And we want to make sure that I'm not missing any comments. Now, I'm sure there's a way I could do that without having to utilize YouTube directly. And we'll figure that out later. Donuts, thank you for joining us. Donuts, thank you for the bears. For those that are just joining, we are painting for charity today. This is a figure that is going to go into a miniature painting competition for pancreatic cancer awareness. I appreciate the bears. This is what we got so far. Gotten the cloak pretty much thinned out. We got all the green pretty much evened out to where we want it. Thank you for the bears. I appreciate it. Robert Sidris, thank you for joining us. Now, I do want to talk about how we as a community are also assisting. So, not only are we doing this miniature painting competition. Thank you, Donuts. So, that's just one part of the miniature. So, this is the entire miniature and how it will look. So, he's going to sit about right there. Oh, I got to screw him over. That wasn't where I had him. There we go. He's going to sit right there. He's going to fight this dragon. And the dragon is representing cancer because we're doing a competition for cancer charity. And pretty much what's happening is the dragon's representing cancer, how destructive it is, everything like that, how terrifying it is. The person down here is representing the family, friends, pretty much anybody that has lost a loved one to cancer or has passed from cancer themselves. And then the elf here is representing everybody who has fought against cancer, be it doctors, family, friends, the medicine itself. So we have a good reason why we're doing this as well. Bear with me for a second. But like I said, let me go over what we're doing as a community. So, as a community, we have several different things that are going to assist with this foundation. First and foremost, if you join our Patreon, which is linked into our bio, Loving Garden, thank you for joining us. If you join our Patreon, which is linked in our bio, 50% of whatever tier you chose gets donated to PanCan. So if you get the $30 tier, $15 is going straight to PanCan in your name. So we're going to make sure that we give recognition where recognition is due. The other thing we're going to be doing is our Etsy shop. 50% of all commissions coming from Etsy is also going into the PanCan. If you say donuts here, shot me a link or shot me an idea of something he wanted commissioned, but he didn't go through Etsy, he didn't go through, he just went to me directly. 25% of my profits after materials will go to PanCan through that. I'll be right back, everyone. I gotta go grab a new flavor cartridge. Find out. Turner Dust, thank you for joining us. C3PRD, thank you for joining us. So like I said, there are good reasons why we are doing this figure, and we will eventually go back to our Tyranids. For those of you that have not seen what they look like, this is our custom Hive Fleet. And then eventually we're also going to go back to this figure that we started on one of our other lives that we joined. It's a pinup of a Grung. She's looking pretty good. Just got a little bit of work left to do on that one. Gotta stay hydrated, people. Okay. Now, let's get back into this figure. I need my silver, which I think I put back up here. But like I was saying, what we're doing is going to a good cause. And the reason why I chose to join is because I've lost family to cancer. Not necessarily pancreatic cancer, but cancer nonetheless. And once I saw that Lord of the Unfinished Projects was doing this foundation, to me it was a no-brainer to join. My grandmother passed away 19-20 years ago from pancreatic cancer, from bone cancer. So it does hit hard with me, and wanting to make sure that what I am doing as a whole is going to a good cause. And like I said, not only can I support this, but if you want to join the competition, it's easy. I have reposted videos of the competition myself inside of my channel. So if you decide you want to join, there's ways to join through that. There's also the option of joining our Patreon. Dream big, build small. Thank you for joining us. There's also our Patreon, our Etsy shop. Just asking me directly, hey, are you open to commissions? Obviously, right now with us working on this, I am open, but expect a delay. We were trying to pull out all of our tips and tricks that we can do with this figure and go as detailed as possible. For example, the swords, we started doing a non-metallic metal, but that was not looking right. So we swapped to just regular metal. I've been watching a ton of videos today, though, trying to figure out where I went wrong with the non-metallic metal. Big Daddy Dragon, thank you for joining. And I'll be honest, I can't figure out where I went wrong with it, but like I said, I've been watching videos left and right, so I am getting a gist of how I can adjust that. I appreciate the likes, everyone. Vampire, thank you for joining us. I do need some of this wood grain. Understandable. Completely understandable, Dragon. I don't expect you to join every live. I don't expect you to, especially when you're busy, join. But any little contribution you can do with us is definitely appreciated, and we appreciate you for being here for as long as you can. Today we're going to try to do a little bit longer of a live, with it being Sunday, but also we just want to see how far we can push this model. If we can get this to go up till 4 hours, 5 hours, that in my book is amazing. Thank you for the likes, Dragon. I appreciate it. Courtney Paints, thank you for joining us. For those of you that are just joining, we are painting our miniature for Lord of the Unfinished Project's charity campaign called Fort Safe for Good. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking, Courtney. And what this charity project is doing is it is raising money for PanCan, the Pancreatic Network Association or Pancreatic Cancer Association of North America. You have a great day. And we are painting up this figure right now. We're going to get as far as we can with him. And like I said, we're going to try to push this as far as we can. With the length of time to try and get as much of it as done as possible. Minigeddon, thank you for joining us. Like I said, once we are done with this figure, we are going to glue him to the base. So we do got some other stuff to do with this model that we're doing. To bring it all together. I'm going to start working on his body. Now we are making this character into a drow. For those of you that play D&D and know what that is, it is a dark. For those of you that don't play D&D and don't know what that is, it is the equivalent of a dark elf. So we're just going to start working on getting the figure painted up for that. Like such. His hands are a little bit darker. BDR, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it, BDR Crochet. Thank you for joining us. I apologize for not getting to you joining us sooner. I'm going to add a little bit of gold. I don't want the bright gold. This gold. So there we have his face. We got his swords done. I may do the bracers in that same... Actually, you know what? No, we're going to make those bracers iron. Where is my iron rust? There we are. Z, thank you for joining us. Epic Dragon Games, thank you for joining us. There we go. Before I was only getting the pigmentation, I wasn't getting the actual paint. Or the medium, I wasn't getting the paint. And once again, I want to thank everybody that has joined us today. This is what we got so far. Lord of the Unfinished Projects, thanks for joining us. We were just talking about your charity event that you are running. If you want to hop in and discuss that as well, we can. Edmundo, thanks for joining us. YG13, thank you for joining us. Patrick Bell, LC, thank you for joining us, everyone. Willie, thank you for joining. Annie, thank you for joining us. Gregory James, thank you for joining. Where was this one? Cindy, thank you for joining us. This is the figure we are painting for Lord of the Unfinished Projects charity event. Oleg, thank you for joining us. The idea behind this figure, let me pull it off here for a second, is it is going to sit right about here. And is going to fight the dragon. Now with him fighting the dragon, he's representing the doctors, the nurses, the treatments, everything to fight the cancer. The dragon's representing the cancer, and the Person at the very bottom is a memorial to everyone that has passed. Mama Scarecrow, thank you for joining us. Grandma Joe Mac, thank you for joining us. We are painting for pancreatic cancer today. Sajad, thank you for joining us. I do hope I pronounced that correctly. Josh, thank you for joining us. Like I said, when we had a little bit more people active, we are going to try to push this for as long as we can for this live stream. We're going to try to get as much done as we can. With this figure. Max Z, thank you for joining us. Zach Mack, thank you for joining. Quest, Pugface, thank you for joining us. Hua, thank you for joining us. Black Yoshi, David, thank you. I appreciate everyone that is joining us. We are painting for cancer research today. Okay. Brenda, thank you for joining us. We are painting up another figure to add to our miniature for the pancreatic cancer charity we are contributing to. Pigeon Guy, thank you for joining us. Russ, thank you for joining us. Nicholas Key, thank you for joining us. I cannot tell which one I used there, so I'm just going to put another dot there. Let it sit for a minute. Yeah, that's the same one. Gail, I appreciate you joining. This is the figure we are adding to our miniature for Fort Safe for Goods miniature painting competition. Don Schneiderless, Nicholas, thanks for joining. For those of you that are unaware what I'm talking about when I say Fort Safe for Goods, miniature painting competition, Lord of the Unfinished Projects started up a painting competition to help raise money for pancreatic cancer research. So we definitely made sure that we contributed because we have had family members that have passed from cancer, not specifically pancreatic cancer, but we have had family that has passed from it, and we do have some survivors within our family. So we definitely wanted to pitch in and help as much as we could. So this was a no-brainer for us to join. And we here at Scarecrow Miniature Painting also are doing a few other things to help contribute to it, such as for every Patreon subscriber that signs up, 50% of your monthly subscription gets donated to PanCan on your first subscription or on your first month, depending on how long you've been a member of our Patreon. If you join up now, your first month gets put into that. Common Sense, thank you for joining us. Poppy J, thank you for joining us again. Here, I'm gonna swap you out. Bear with me, everyone. Gonna swap that over here. Tiveron, I hope I said that right. Thank you for joining us. Barbara, thank you for joining us. Nar Killer, thank you for joining. Polar Bear Biker, thank you for joining us. We are continuing work on our miniature for our miniature painting competition that we are in to help raise money for pancreatic cancer. This will work on now for it. Okay, I need a little bit lighter of a green. Where's that goblin skin? Frederick Close, thanks for joining us. Kim Hong, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. GZ, thank you for joining. Get a sip real quick. Now with this figure, we're going to try to keep it as simplistic as possible. Warhammer Matt, thank you for joining us. I always ask this in every of my lives. How is everybody's day so far? Arquitar, thank you for joining us. Dream big, thank you for joining us again. Pancake Paints, thank you for joining. That's what we got so far. I want to thank everybody that has joined us so far. I appreciate every single one of you. Yeah, I see that now, Dream. It's fine. Sometimes that happens. Arjun Wolf, thank you for joining us. Sometimes that's all you gotta do. Sometimes people's interests are not always there for you to continue. Sometimes you just gotta keep going. Big Nerd, thank you for joining us. La Latina, thank you for joining. Thank you for the share. I appreciate it, Dream. It makes my job a lot easier with this. Like I said, we're going to try getting as far into this as possible. I appreciate the likes. I love it. No, I'm not saying we're going to finish this today, but I want to get pretty dang close to finishing it. Looks like somebody else might have joined the live. Let me check real quick. No. Fashion Love, thank you for joining us. Bree, thanks for joining. Kira, thank you for joining. For those that are joining, let me go over what we are doing. We are painting for Fort Safe for Good. Fort Safe for Good is running a miniature painting competition. And what we are doing is the miniature painting competition is for pancreatic research, pancreatic cancer research specifically. So we're doing everything we can to push this project out and get it completed before October 12th's deadline. We're trying to go as detailed as we can while still being able to manage this constraint with the time frame and pretty much everything else regarding it. Dream big. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it, buddy. Mouse, thank you for joining. Currently, that's our last highlight to the cloak. Billy McSwell, thank you for joining us. I appreciate that, Dream. Let me go a couple brushes smaller. So we're going to go as detailed as we can on this hair. Okay, where is my mummy robes? Did I put it back up? Yes, I did. Let that dry. We're going to mix some of this flesh tone that we're working on for the next highlight. Lizzie Stedman, thank you for joining us. Stony Brook, thank you for joining. Okay. Next, we're going to move on up to the next highlight for the skin tone. Riley, thank you for joining us. So as you can see, we're slowly building up gradients on the face and on the hands right now. While we're waiting on that, we are just going to take some of this Money Rose. Mohammed, thank you for joining. WebBC, thank you for joining us. Pixel, thank you for joining. Mel Clark, thank you for joining. Aria, thanks for joining us. Jimmy Rogers, thanks for joining. Nose Addict, thank you for joining us. Bud B, thank you for joining. Bear with me for 1 second to get a drink. I'm going to show you everyone what we're doing. Strike Curious, thank you for joining us. Not much, painting this figure up still. Beyond that, we are nearly done with him. Then we can work on some other parts of the figure. I'm really excited about it, because that means we're getting closer and closer to being done with this one. Very nice. I'm going to eventually get an emissary for my Tyranids, but for right now, it's just not in the cards. Queen M, thank you for joining us. I assume you're going to go take it to the level of the Annihilator with that other one? Or are you going to keep it as an emissary? Okay, I get you. See, that's why I like playing. Like, once the army's done and once I do start playing, I'm not playing just to win. I'm playing just to have fun. So that's why, like, my army's going to have both Assimilator and Emissary. But this is what we got so far on this figure. So we can show it off. Thank you. I think the cape's the one that took the longest on this figure. That and the hair. Now I am going to do a matte gloss on the cape. I'm actually going to do that now while I can. Let me go grab a plate real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. So, exactly what I said. So, when you look at, I don't have the box art of it no more, but when you look at the box art, it is literally a drow that looks just like Dritz. Like, this is the exact figure that you build to make, like, that's on the box art. So I saw that, I'm like, that's Dritz with extra steps. Okay, here's my gloss. Here's my gloss. Here's my matte. Nope, definitely not just you. I made the joke multiple times whenever I was building this that this is just dritzed. I'm trying to pour some of that in there. Just drop. Come on. Just drop it. That'll work. What I'm doing is I'm thinning down my Mod Podge so that we can still see what we're doing. And I think I thinned it down a little too much, so I'm going to add a little bit more Mod Podge to it. That's what I like about Mod Podge. It dries clear. You gotta be careful on where you're placing. You gotta be generous, continuously moving. And we'll see how matte this makes it. Because I'm not a fan of the cape being so glossy from the green. Feather Swift, thank you for joining. We are painting our miniature for the Fort Safe for Good miniature painting competition. Right now I'm just doing a matte varnish on this cape because the green I used was a little too glossy. And I'll show you what the entire model will look like here in a second. And of course, you can hear a little scarecrow in the background. Thank you, I appreciate that. This is just one part of the entire assembled model once it is done. In fact, we're almost to the point where we can assemble him to the model. The one bad thing about Mod Podging capes is it pulls in the recesses, so you gotta definitely work around that. Huh? Yeah, I'm still alive. Mrs. was coming and making sure I was still going live. Okay, so this is what we got for the figure. Ignore the glossiness of the cape for now. We just did a Mod Podge varnish on it, so we're waiting for that to dry, and it's already working how I want it to, and that's perfect. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put him about right there. And we're going to do an object sort slide on this blade. We're going to build off this figure with some flame. We're going to probably start doing that now. So if we put him right there, that would mean the flames are blowing that way. So let's start working on that. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to have to end the live. My little one is being a little fussy and calling for me. We are going to continue working on this probably later today. We don't got much left to do. Actually, I'll do that real quick while I'm on live. We're going to expand on our basing. Grab Adam, you're actually about ready to miss. We're actually about ready to just end the live, but I do apologize. I think that's like the third time you've joined. We've almost been ended. But right now, I'm just trying to grab. Where did it go? I have a specific brush I use. Oh, they're right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of this. I'm just going to expand around where the lava is. I'm not going to go into the lava, but I'm expanding upward. And then when this dries, we'll just go on and put more of a dry brush on these areas. That should be good. So we're going to let that dry. And then we'll do some object source sliding on that. And then we will start on the plagued elf that we have burning. After that, I'm going to glue him on and do the object source sliding for that. And then we should be done after that. With that being said and done, thank you for joining the live. Have a great day.